Hello and welcome to a radio roundtable. Wherever you are, we want to say welcome to the broadcast. Tonight we have with us in studio Councilman Wynfred Russell, and we'll be having a discussion with him today concerning um, his his interest in the mayor position of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. So tonight we want to say welcome to every one of you, our viewers, and want to say welcome to Councilman and my co-host, CEO James Jensen. Welcome.
Thank you.
We want to give opportunity to our platform guest so he can just briefly introduce himself before we continue our discussion tonight. Councilman Russell.
Well, thank you. It's an opportunity to be here and be on this platform. I appreciate it. I'm Wynfred Russell. I represent the West District on the Brooklyn Park City Council. I've been on the council now for about 4 years. My term expires in December 31st, to be exact. And I've decided to run for mayor because the current mayor is not running for re-election, and so she's endorsed me to run, and so I decided to give this a shot. I've been in the community and working in the community prior to joining the city council, and I think this is a logical next step for me to assume the mayoral position within the city. So that's why I'm out here talking to everyone, talking to you all on this platform, asking for your support to ensure that we win in November. So the election date is actually November 8th. So I appreciate all your support and I appreciate all your help. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction. Jensen is my co-host here tonight. Jensen, I'll just give you a couple of seconds so you can also welcome our mayor. Oh, incoming mayor, sorry. Councilman Russell.
That's a prophecy.
Yeah.
Okay, Mayor, we once again welcome you and we like the challenge that you have taken. It is not easy for a young man to, in fact, when people hear the name America, the bigness of this country, people get frightened just by that. But the fact that you have taken the courage, we hope that all will be well with you. And this is Two-Way Radio. We are here too, trying to see how best we all can help communities and help our societies wherever we find ourselves. So tonight you are welcome. Feel free. Let's discuss the issues. We might ask you some low, tough questions to see how you've been working and how you intend to move forward in, making sure that you win the next election that is expected in November. So once again, thank you so much. This is an open platform, and feel free to talk whatever you want to say. We will talk to all of our people from Minnesota, even those who are formerly members of Oxide. We will do all that we can, to see a Liberian born to come this far. I think you are one of the few, and we appreciate you and we're proud about you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jensen. Once again, want to say welcome. This is Two-Way Radio to our viewers out there. This is Two-Way Radio, and we are coming to you live from Minnesota. And this is the program, Two-Way Radio Roundtable, where we have all our discussions. Um, Councilman, just before we start our questions, I know you did a brief introduction of yourself. But during your introduction, I don't think I heard a little bit more concerning the work you do here in Brooklyn Park. You just want to tell us more about yourself and what you are doing in the community?
Thank you. We're doing quite a bit in the community and have done quite a bit in the community. So I've been working in the community now for at least 12 years, working, developing programs, developing initiatives to try to improve the lives of people. So I know work in the Liberian community, but even in the African immigrant community as a whole, working to ensure that we have a voice at the table, because it's critically important to be at the table, because when you're at the table, at least you can be part of the conversation. You could be part of the solution to try to bring needed resources and services to our people. So I've worked with different organizations like the OLM, the Liberian Umbrella Community Organization, like Mind, the Nigerian organization, or like the GAM, the Ghanaian American, organization. So there are a number of organizations that I work with, and and also the churches. So I work very closely with the churches in trying to identify resources to help solve some of the problems and some of the challenges that we have in the community. For example, so folks who have had problems accessing food and looking for food services and other services. So we work with some of the churches to ensure that they have ethnocentric or ethnic specific foods. Like we're looking for the Liberian group, for example, we're looking for farina, we're looking for palm butter or rice or any of those type of staples that we can give that to them, as opposed to coming and getting spaghetti or meatballs. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's also important that we have food and that our people can understand and appreciate, and who that the people are familiar with. So with the Nigerians too, we have the palm oil. So all of West Africa. So we ensure that we have food that people from those from the various ethnic communities can appreciate. I've worked with the Liberian Business Association, for example. We just purchased a mall, a strip mall, and we turned that into a business incubation center where we can train small business leaders and owners, and then once we can provide enough technical assistance to them, and they can get on their own or get on their feet. We can they can move on to other bigger and better things. So I mean, in a nutshell, that's the extent to some of the programs and some of the services that we've been working on over the years. But I mean, there are clearly more of them.
Thank you. Jesse, you want to?
Yeah, Councilman, to contest for a higher position, it's always expected that you have done your groundwork. What is the relationship with the people? Looking at your human relationship, do you think the Broken Park community, people really favor you and they will want to see you being a major for that community?
There's no doubt about it. I mean, we've been working in the trenches and working with the community. Like I said, diverse group of folks. Brooklyn Park has about 87,000 people, so pretty close to about 90,000 people. Very diverse. 61% of the population is of color, so you have a critical mix of Asian, of Latino, of Black, African Americans, and African immigrants. And Native American and white, Asian. So we have a really good, healthy mix of folks. So you have to work very closely. I think one of the things I bring to the position is an experience working with this very diverse group of people, but not just working with them, but working with them to produce results. So yes, I think that there are a lot of people who embrace me, who embrace my candidacy, who will support me because I know I've been there with them. In the trenches, trying to find solution to their problems, trying to identify resources for them to help to improve their lives or help to improve the health, of the community. I mean, recently I've been coordinating a statewide COVID-19 response work in the state of Minnesota in all geographic corners of the state. So we're working with some of our people, African immigrants
Hmm.
in Northeast Minnesota, working with some of them in Southwest Minnesota with Latino migrant workers, with migrant workers from Burma and refugees from Laos and other places. So I work with all of these different diverse, community groups. With the Liberian or the West African community, I've been, focused on working with leaders, not done it alone. And so I think that's part of what is critically important is that we work with, building relationship and work with all of these different groups, depending on what the issues are. And so for the West African group, the Liberian group, for example, work with the churches, continue to work with the different faith community, the Muslim group and the Christian groups, and all of the different tribal groups too as well, to try to bring immigration relief to our people. So it's one of the things that I was focused on. I mean, and since joining the council, working with my colleagues at the city and contacting our congressional representatives to work with them, and we
Okay.
eventually got the LRRF approved, where almost 10,000 Liberians across this country who were on DED, they finally got a pathway to citizenship. So those are all of the things that we've been working on and working directly with our people. Now, true, it's not possible to go to all of the different events and
Right. Right.
all of the different groups and all of that. But by and large, I think we've made an impact in the community, and we work very closely with a diverse group of community groups.
Councilman, how many candidates are there? And with your fluency with the Queen's language, I'm wondering what is the advantage you have when it comes to you and other candidates? We have heard a lot about you, but in terms of your educational background, in terms of what is required for someone to occupy the position, what advantage do you have over other candidates, if there's any?
Yeah, thank you. I think I bring a tremendous advantage, and there's a major uh, um, departure from my opponent and me. I think you see that. So folks are paying attention, even those who have not paying attention to
Okay.
local politics, and to know that I have been there. Is not about what I will do. I'm talking about continuing the work that I'm doing now. So we've been there doing the work. And so this is just an extension of all of the work and the many years of work that we've done in the community. So what sets me apart from my opponent is that I have a long track record of providing service to the community. I
Okay.
don't just show up during the election and say, "Oh, I'm here, vote for me." I am a Liberian immigrant, or I am an African immigrant, or I'm a black man, vote for me. No, you
Hmm.
know, people are here to support me, and those who are supporting me because they know I have been there. When the cameras were not on, I don't always take pictures and share. They say, "Okay, this is what this is what I'm doing, or this is what I have done." But I've been there. We've been
Okay.
in the trenches, working for the community. So I have a track record of service in a community that
Right.
is a clear contrast from my opponent, who has no service, in a community. Who, before even joining the council, I served on so many different commissions, at the city hall, the
Hmm.
Human Rights Commission, the Planning Commission in the city. I also saw problems in the organization when I joined the show here earlier. Um, Sister Patience asked me about ACER. ACER is an organization that I founded almost 15 years ago to provide services to the community, that is providing
Okay.
services to the community, not only the African community, not
Right.
only the Black community, but ASA is working, for example, in every geographic corner of the state. Okay, so it's not been about me.
Okay.
It's been about the work that we all coming together to do the work. But I think folks would see that this is someone who comes to this position with many years of experience working to produce results in the
Right.
community, working for people not only here but even overseas. Whether it's in Liberia, whether it's in Nigeria, working providing services to people who needed help during Ebola and polio in Nigeria. And so because even though I have my folks here, folks are also concerned about the plight of their people back home, and
Mm.
we've been able to address some of those concerns and some of those issues.
Right.
There's no question about it. There's a clear distinction between the services that we've provided in this community, the years of work that we have done in this community, and my opponent. I mean, it's just as clear. So if we want to be honest, and truthful about it, I mean, the record is there. My record is there, and you can see that that we've been there. We've done the work.
Wow, that's good.
Good.
Christian, you can
Yeah.
ask some questions then.
With new leadership comes new ideas and innovation and all that. What kind of Brooklyn Park do you want to see if you are elected?
I think you see, and that's part of what I think it's also different from my opponent and what I bring to the table is that a
Yeah.
continuation of the services that we've been providing. I'm not coming here with a sledgehammer or a crowbar to tear things down, but to
Right.
continue to provide the steady leadership that the city is on. That's why I've been endorsed by the current mayor, Mayor Jacobson, his
Mhm.
endorsement, because we've worked along the way for the last almost 4 years now. The immediate past mayor, who is now Hennepin County Commissioner Jeff Lundy, he's also support me and in endorsement, so we can continue on this work that we all have been doing, over the years. So it's not so the ideas that we have is to continue the work. It's continue to provide the services. I mean, people are going to come and say, "Oh, I'm going to do this. We're going to bring a new idea. We're going to be a change agent." I'm change. Just the fact that I'm in this race
Mhm.
Right.
represents change because I'm the first Black person to be elected in the Brooklyn Park
The
City
council.
Council. So
Okay.
that's change right there. So you
Right.
can't come and say, "I'm coming." I
Mhm.
mean, what other change you going to bring? I'm already representing change, and
And
so providing the services and the support to the police department to ensure that crime is reduced, and we continue to keep our people safe, producing programs and working with organizations like yours, and some of the faith groups here to provide more programs for our young people to keep them busy and active,
Right. Right.
providing resources to small businesses. We have a lot of small businesses in our community that are African owned, that are immigrant owned. How are these businesses being supported? Those are some of the things that I'm interested in. I told you earlier about the small business center. I've been on the
yeah.
council. I voted for that. I supported us purchasing a strip mall that would turn over to the Liberian Business, the Liberian Business Association to run, to
Right.
incubate small businesses. So these are services and programs that we have that we're going to continue. So I'm not coming in here and trying to, like my opponent would say, "Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring out these new ideas." We already have ideas that are running, that are working and that are running. We just have to continue on that path and continue to expand and enhance it. So that's part of what we'll continue to do.
Just to dig a little deeper, since we're talking about the community, what about the youth? What what are the kinds of youth oriented programs that they can look forward to, or that is already in existence that you can build upon?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we do. I mean, that's going to be one of the signature pieces of um, the programs and the initiatives that I would push as your next mayor. We already have the Zanewood Recreation Center, the teen center. We have basketball, recreational, activities there. We need to provide more resources to keep those programs going, to keep new programs there at Zanewood. But I'd like to expand Zanewood, so not all expansion. I'm talking about the program offering.
Hmm.
Now, in other parts of Brooklyn Park, there is a program in Brooklyn Park we call Rec on the Go. It
mm,
mean recreation on the go. So we go, say, for example, to you live in, so whether you live in Huntington Place apartment, or you live in Autumn Ridge, you live in the eastern part or western or southern part of Brooklyn Park, we have a van, a recreational van with professional recreational folks there, experts there, to go from place to place and take recreation to the people, as
mm,
opposed
Okay.
to people coming, to them, or coming to an edifice to get involved in recreational activities. So those kinds of programs, to continue to support those kinds of programs, where we cannot build recreational facilities in all the places. So what we're doing is that we're taking recreation to the people. We come and set up shop here in this neighborhood, and get the kids and get the young people there and actively involved. Our police department, for example, is has a diversion program, so the kids get into problem, they're bored, to get into sort of criminal activities. We have programs there at the police department to work with them, to keep them on the right track. And so
yeah.
Right.
the kids who are doing great things, you
Mm,
know, and we're giving them bike, we give them bicycles, and to encourage them. So those are all of the some of the programs that we have, and but working with community-based organizations to
yeah.
enhance the sort of programs we have will be part of a mind goal, and be part of the things I'm going to be working on, is that how we are working with organizations to increase and enhance the program offerings that we have now.
Okay. If I may just ask, America is polarized when it comes to, firstly, the two outstanding political parties,
Mhm,
the Democrat and the Republican. And
mhm.
then there are other issues, racial, I mean, the crime rate and all of those stuff. I'm just wondering how you intend to maneuver between the two political parties in terms of their partisans. Like last night, I was listening the Republican, I think it's about Atlanta, somewhere in there's this migrant they were put on the bus, and a senator said, no, we cannot accommodate you people here, so I'm just wondering, thinking about some of the crime rate and some of the problem, some of the leadership problem, political parties, the kind of, so I'm just wondering, young man like you, how you going to maneuver, between these two outstanding political parties.
Thank you. I mean, the good thing about it is that at the municipal level, at
Hmm.
our municipal level here, it is nonpartisan. So
Okay.
I'm here to represent the aspirations of all of our residents, not
Mm,
one particular political party
Okay.
or the other. So this
Right.
is this is not about Democrats. This is not a Republican. It's not about Republicans or independent. It is nonpartisan. So at this level, it
Hmm.
is not about party affiliation. But I
Okay.
think again, one of the things that I bring to this position, having served and worked for all these years, is that you've been able to build relationships. I've been able to build relationships with people and leaders from all political persuasions. So I work with Democratic senators. I work with Republican, congressional leaders. I work with independents. With all of these different folks, I brought them together so that we find solution. And that's part of the skills that I bring, to the table. So I am nonpartisan. This is a
Okay.
nonpartisan race.
Right.
So I don't represent any political party. Even though everyone knows I'm a Democrat, but this is not. This is a
Okay.
nonpartisan race. So I get support from Democrats, from Republicans, from Independents, from folks who just want to see us keep our city safe and provide the services and programs that they need to keep people thriving and succeeding in creating wealth for their families and their generation. So that's part of what it's about. It's not about the party label.
got it.
I intend to continue that collaboration and
Right.
working across the aisle to ensure that all of the residents within the city that I will represent as your mayor, to ensure that they all are served equitably.
Oh, if you're watching or you just joining us, this is 2A Radio Roundtable, and we are in conversation with aspiring mayor for the Brooklyn Park uh, in Minnesota. So wherever you are, if you're Liberian or any other national, or you live in that area, I mean, this is someone you want to vote for coming November, and he is Councilman Wynfred Russell. Um, I know time is fast spent and we almost done because he has just 30 minutes, and we almost like we gone almost in 30 minutes and we got 4 minutes remaining. Nevertheless, one more question from my end before I turn over to my co-host. uh we talk about the community, we talk about all the good things, but I also want to know about the senior citizens, because especially those immigrants, and what are some of the programs, because I know most of the time they are just home, they don't go anywhere, maybe apart from going to church, they nothing recreational for seniors, especially when it comes to African immigrant seniors. Is there anything that in a pipeline for them?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and really appreciate it. So one of the policies that I have advanced since joining the council almost 4 years ago is to ensure that Brooklyn Park becomes an age-friendly community, meaning that whether you're 5 years old or whether you're 80 years old, uh, everyone can feel safe and can enjoy all of the amenities within the city.
Yeah.
So you can, whether you're riding a scooter or you're using a cane, that you can feel safe and at home and embrace in the city. So some of these policies that we push through called universal design. So where you're walking on the sidewalk, you don't feel isolated, or there's no hindrance to you getting through with your mobile vehicle or your wheelchair, because the place is just designed just for able-bodied people. So this is one of the things that I have advanced and continued to promote, and we've gotten certified as an age-friendly community. So showing that even public buildings, people can easily access those buildings, whether you have disability, whether you are a senior citizen, or whether you are a young child. So that have moved over to as well. With my work, I've worked very closely with our senior population. At If you go to Brooks Landing, many of them know me personally. I've gone there, worked with them, try to provide food resources and other assistance for them at Brook Landing, for example, and even at Park Haven and many other senior communities, Creekside Gable, for example, at Zane and Brooklyn Boulevard. So I work very closely with them in ensuring that for example, I've got a request for a senior about the difficulty of crossing the main road there on Brooklyn Boulevard, and so just got our engineering team there, and to let our engineering team know that we have to put some sort of crossing mechanism that will allow people to cross safely, and easily at those different places to make it easy for our senior citizens. So continue to work with them, providing food resources, providing other resources for them. I'm currently the PI, co-principal investigator on a research study at the University of Minnesota, looking at Alzheimer's and early dementia within our African immigrant community. So those are things, because a lot of folks know that. When I'm not on the council, I work in public health, so I'm a public health practitioner. So I brought that research to the community so that we look at, because that's an issue that is affecting a lot of our folks, and this
Yeah.
is focused on African immigrant. So people who have early memory loss, who have Alzheimer's, and we're working with the care providers. So the people who are providing care to our African immigrant seniors who are battling, dementia. So these are things that I'm also working on. We, in fact, will be releasing the research finding from that study next week. So those are all of the things that I have been working on and have really embraced the seniors in our community because they're part of us, and we have to ensure that they too can improve the quality of their life here as residents in Brooklyn Park.
Thank
That's
you.
good. I think time is fast spent, but let me just ask you this one question, and probably you can give your closing
No
comment.
question.
Um, America is the world number one superpower. Every country, like the African nations, who want to find a friend. I'm wondering, what will you do to bring, you know, to make Africa, to be seen in the eyes of American leaders? For example, Liberia. What link or what do you intend, to do to connect these African countries? Because people like you, I mean, from what I'm hearing from you, is like you are very forceful and you are determined to do a lot. So I'm wondering, how do you? For August 25th was all of the mayors having conference in the United States just this gone August. If you are elected, I'm just wondering, what are you going to do to connect some of these African countries to the world superpower?
Okay, yeah, thanks, Mr. Jensen. So part of what I've been sharing with you, or I know you asked a question about what set me apart from my
Right.
opponent. Again, this is something that I have been doing, that I will continue. Again, building these relationships. So when COVID-19 hit, right,
Mm.
and we saw how difficult it was for all of us, going through the lockdown and not, the supply chain issues that we were experiencing. Even now we're still experiencing, some of
Right.
it, in getting the supplies to us, and all of that. We couldn't, have or we didn't have access to vaccine and testing, supplies. So we were having a tough time, in the West and in America. So you can only imagine what our folks were having back in Africa and in Liberia. And because, like I said, we have to be, conscientious about now, our folks here, but also because I know, I mean, some folks said, yeah, they'll find, they seem happy and all of that, but they oftentimes they are not too happy,
Right.
because they know that the people back home,
Right. Right.
if the people back home, don't have food to eat, or they're not happy, they themselves there too, they're not happy.
Sure. Sure.
So my work has not only been focused on ensuring that my people here are happy, they would do that too, but also work with them to ensure that their folks there too are happy, because if their folks back home are happy, they're also happy,
Sure.
and they can improve. I can, help to improve their mental state, the quality of their life, and all of that by providing whatever services, whatever help I can provide to help to mitigate the challenges and the problems that the folks are having, back home as well. So to that end, I work with Senator Tina Smith to ensure vaccine equity. So a lot
Okay.
of the vaccines that you saw were given,
Mm.
excess vaccines that were given to Liberia and many
Mm.
other African countries, I was part of that effort, behind that effort, working with some of these congressional leaders. See, some of
Wow.
the things is that many of us don't know part of what we do and some of the things
Mm.
that we do. And so sometimes it takes, maybe you asking questions or being on these kinds of programs
Right.
to articulate clearly some of the things that we've done.
Mm.
So I will continue. So it's not about what I will do. And so coming now to build this relationship, we've built these relationships over 4 years, almost 4 years. Now these relationships is by time that these relationships that we've established now start paying dividends.
Right.
Part of that dividends, like I said, is like, I called Nathaniel McGill, for example, at the time, and offered the services, to him. I mean, we don't, because at our level, we don't deal with international
Right.
diplomatic type thing. But we can make the recommendation, we can push, we can lobby our
Right.
congressional folks because they will listen to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said, look, my constituents, I talked to the Commissioner Lundy, Hennepin County Commissioner. I talked to Tina Smith. So we all came, together, and that had a conversation about then Tina Smith now can go to the Biden administration and push the Biden administration and say, hey, we need some of that excess vaccine that
Right.
you have
Right.
to send to Liberia or to Ghana. And that's part of what we have been doing. So we're going to continue on that path. We have built these relationships. Brooklyn Park has a sister city relationship, for example, with Kakata.
Ah.
We work very closely with Kakata, building the capacity of the Kakata City Corporation. We provided uniforms to them, a police uniform to the Magibi County, to Kakata. We provided ambulances, fire trucks to Kakata. And I can tell you, if we did not have someone of Liberian descent
Right.
understand these dynamics there, many of these things would not happen because we are there pushing these things to happen. I've been to Kakata. We've had the mayor of Kakata come here. The former mayor have been to Kakata. City staff have been to Kakata, working with the Kakata City Corporation to build their capacity. We worked with Mayor Jefferson Koji, brought him here, took him around, tried to introduce him to some of the programs and services that we have here, like garbage collection
Right.
and recycling. We've taken him there. We work with governors from Nigeria looking at our solar system. The city of Brooklyn Park has the largest solar farms, solar system in the state. So giving access to these folks to some of those services. Just
Mm.
last week, we signed and approved, voted for a sister city relationship between Brooklyn Park and Banjul, the Gambia.
Wow.
So that international connection, it's happening and it's thriving, and we will just continue to do that. So we are building those. We continue to build these bridges and build these relationships to let our folks, know in the Congress, our congressional leaders and others know in the Congress that we have a thriving, viable African immigrant community here that is contributing significantly to the economy and the well-being of people here in Minnesota and in Brooklyn Park. So to our people who are listening, this is our opportunity as an
Right.
African immigrant community to
That's
have
right.
one of our own at the table, you know. And so I would encourage you all, even if you don't live in Brooklyn Park, you may know people who live in Brooklyn Park,
Right.
encourage them to vote Russell for mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, Russell, that's good.
Time is fast spent, but we just want to just take a question from the comment section. Just one question before we let go of you, Councilman.
Okay.
This is Amos, and he's saying, do you have, let me add that, do you have anything in your plans for low income families to own affordable homes and also for low wages to families to send their children to college without economic stress? That's his comment. That's his question for you. Question stroke.
Thank you, Amos, and thanks for your question. We do have a program at the city right now to support first-time home buyers. So you can go to City Hall 763-424-8000. You can call there and ask for a guy called John Kinera, Kinara, I believe is his name. He's the contact person for that program to up there. So we have a lot of programs and a lot of services. The county provides a number of the services. Two rental assistance. If you're struggling to pay your rent or to pay your utility bills, those services that I available. So you can call the city hall, and they'll give you access to some of those services that are already
In the systems.
in existence.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
The only thing I just like to say, just again, like to to thank you and your co-host and your entire team for this opportunity of bringing me on to at least hear me out and hear my story and hear my vision for the city, and but to also encourage our folks. There are many of us here in Brooklyn Park, many African immigrants, many Liberian immigrants, but we don't get out to vote. We need to get out to vote. This is critically important.
Right.
We have an opportunity. You're not just voting for Wynfred Russell because he's a Liberian, but because he has done the work. He is doing the work. He will do the work. He produces results, and it shows. And so the track record is there. So you are going to be electing someone who is eminently qualified, who has the track record of producing results, who's been there, doing the work, and he just happens to be a Liberian. So maybe there's more a reason why
Right.
you need to support him, because he understands your pain. I
That's right.
know the challenges in our community, and I know what we all have faced. All of us came here together, and this is an opportunity when you have the current mayor say, I'm retiring, but I would like to be replaced by a West African. That says
Mm,
something.
Right.
yeah,
So if we don't seize upon this opportunity, it's going to take us a very long time to get someone with the experience and with the track record and the name recognition, like a Winfred Russell, to be, at this level where he's very close, to get to the next level of of being mayor. You may not like me, but but this is not about me.
yeah.
This is about the community. Okay, I'm only the vessel to ensure that the community has access to resources and services. So early voting starts next Friday, the 23rd. Call your friends. You get your 18-year-old child or nephew or cousin or anyone who you live in Brooklyn Park who is eligible to vote, to start voting at City Hall next Friday, the 23rd of September. While there, vote Russell for mayor. So thank you. Have a good evening. Thanks for the opportunity.
That's
Thank
good.
you.
That's good.
Thank
That's
you,
good.
Councilman. Jensen, your closing comment?
Well, well said. And honestly, I'm proud of you. And I hope that you will get a vote. We can say all of these things,
I know, right?
you
People don't
know,
show.
but you have to get to the people. And trust me, we will keep knocking the doors of our friends and people that we know. We tell them, hey, you know, vote for Russell. I mean, Russell has been there. Who knows? Maybe Russell could be representative or senator one day.
Yeah,
So let him continue
you
climbing
never
the
know.
ladder. So there's nothing wrong. We appreciate and we know exactly you answer a lot of questions and you have said it all. We will
Thank you.
ask our friends and family members to indeed,
Thank you.
consider
Thank you.
you. Yeah.
Thank you, Jensen. I heard the name also, excuse me, the first time attached to Asa. So that's how I identify identify you. But I want to say thank you for the work you do, and I'm calling on all the Liberians, all the immigrants. I'm calling on as many that will come across this video and that is connected to me or connected to somebody that know me. Uh, Go out there if you live in Brooklyn Park. I mean, vote your own, vote someone that is in your interest, and I believe that you will not regret it. I've heard his track record from the organization Acer, so I know what you have done. Uh, I know you're going to, it's going to spill over to Brooklyn Park and beyond. So we want to say thank you for watching us. Keep commenting on the broadcast and keep sharing the broadcast. We will be here again next Friday on To A Radio Roundtable. Thank you so much, Councilman, for joining us today. It was a pleasure, and we're praying that all will be well as it concern your ascendancy to the mayor position. God bless you.
Thank you.